This is ABC 7 News at 10, Chicago's #1 news.
Tonight's special segment faces the foreclosure. In Chicago and throughout the country, people are losing their homes and in record numbers. It's a crisis that in one way or another impacts us all.
ABC 7's Paul Mikey is here with a story. Paul.
Ron and Kathy, we often look at the foreclosure mess through a macro lens. What's its impact on the economy? How many billions lost? But what of the individual who's losing a home? Where do they go? What does it mean to their community? There are unscrupulous lenders and brokers, but for some homeowners, there has also been bad timing, bad luck, and yes, bad judgment. Tonight, three faces of foreclosure. During Sunday service at the Neighborhood United Methodist Church in Maywood, Pastor Jacques Conway asked his congregation, "How many of you know someone going through foreclosure?" Slowly, people stand.
It's the kind of problem that people don't want to talk about. It's the kind of problem that people feel embarrassed about.
On Maywood's 19th Avenue, within several blocks of the church, there are 24 homes in foreclosure. Dorothy Smith's is one of them.
I'm hoping that I can save it, because it's all I got.
Dorothy is 70. She and her late husband bought this house over 40 years ago, raised their family here. 8 years ago, when Dorothy and her husband were both working, they took out a second loan for home improvements. But he passed away, and she retired with an adjustable rate mortgage that jumped beyond her ability to pay.
A lot of this is my fault, and a lot of it is that I couldn't meet, my responsibility.
But loans, once there for the taking, Dorothy says, are now gone. Her refinancing efforts have failed. In the last year, in Maywood alone, there have been over 400 foreclosures. That hammers property values, hurts business, schools, churches, and invites crime.
It's almost to a point where the walls are just falling in all around us.
50 miles away in Lake Villa, the walls are falling in around Tammy Walsh, a single mom with 3 sons who lost her job at a pet store and is now about to lose her home.
You can't sleep at night. You don't want to eat. It's just not fair with what's happening to everyone.
In September, Tammy's house payment jumped from $1,000 to over $1,400. Tammy didn't know hers was an adjustable rate mortgage. She acknowledges she should have, but says her broker told her it was a fixed rate and she believed him.
Looking at the 2,000 people that called us for foreclosure prevention assistance in 2007, probably half of them didn't realize they were getting themselves into an adjustable rate mortgage.
She's in a pretty bad situation.
The nonprofit Neighborhood Housing Services of Chicago counsels people facing foreclosure. And what they find most problematic is that homeowners quite often don't reach out for help until after they've missed 4, 5, 6 payments. And by then, it may be too late.
As bad as 2007 was, we ain't seen nothing yet.
In 2006, in Chicago alone, there were nearly 2,700 complete foreclosures. Look at the increase in 2007. By 2008, Van Zalingen estimates 9,000 to 10,000. Where are you going to go?
I don't know. I have no idea. I can't rent a place because my credit is bad because of my mortgage payments. So I don't know what I'm going to do.
Cindy Beresford is another single mom who's lost her job and most probably soon her house. She lives, by coincidence, right across the street from Tammy Walsh, and it was only fairly recently that each learned of the other's predicament. They and Dorothy Smith are three faces of foreclosure. They acknowledge making mistakes, but also feel their good faith efforts to save their homes have been judged not good enough.
You feel so hopeless. You just keep looking up and saying, God, come on, please. Just give me something here.
Late last week, Tammy Walsh did get some encouraging news. The scheduled auction of her home, which was set for this Thursday, has been put off. Her lender is trying to rework her mortgage. Cindy Beresford's home is set to be auctioned off, no date set. And unless she is successful with an 11th hour legal motion, Dorothy Smith will likely have to leave her home of 43 years in the next 90 days. There are some happy endings to this foreclosure mess, but in many cases, people get in too fast, too deep, and they can't get out.
All right. Thanks, Paul.